Welcome back to the channel Wisdom of Stoicism. Have you ever wondered why some people always seem calm, focused, and wise, while others are constantly chasing, stressing, and struggling? It's not just intelligence that sets them apart, it's what they avoid. Yes, you heard that right. The smartest people don't just know what to do, they know what not to do. And if you study the ancient Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, you'll find they had a very different approach to life. They believed that wisdom isn't just about learning more, it's about letting go of what weighs you down. In today's video, we're going to talk about 10 things intelligent people avoid, all backed by timeless Stoic wisdom. And this isn't some boring lecture. This is a deep dive into powerful truths, told with real-life stories, practical examples, and simple advice you can start using right now. Whether you're in your 20s trying to figure out your path, in your 40s searching for peace, or in your 60s reflecting on what really matters, this video is for you. So, grab a drink, sit back, and get ready to change how you think. Because sometimes, becoming smarter isn't about adding more. It's about cutting out the things that make you weaker, distracted, and disconnected from your true self. Let's get into it. Number 1. Intelligent people avoid seeking validation from others. Have you ever posted something online and then kept checking back to see how many likes or comments you got? We all have. It's normal. We want to feel seen. We want to feel appreciated. But here's the truth. Intelligent people don't chase that feeling. They don't need others to clap for them to know they're doing something right. In the world we live in today, it's easy to fall into the trap of needing validation. You see people posting every little achievement, trying to get attention, trying to prove they matter. But smart people, they move differently. They don't waste their energy proving anything to the outside world. They focus on what they think of themselves, not what the world thinks of them. Let me tell you a quick story. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, had the entire Roman Empire at his feet. People praised him every day. They bowed. They flattered him. But what did Marcus do? He wrote in his private journal, "Don't waste time worrying about what others think. Focus on what is right." Even as emperor, he reminded himself what matters is living with wisdom, not applause. That's what intelligent people understand. They know that the moment you start chasing applause, you become a puppet. You give others the power to control your mood, your self-worth, even your direction in life. One minute, you're up because someone praised you. The next, you're down because someone criticized you. It's a trap, and it keeps you stuck. But when you stop seeking validation, you become free. You no longer need permission to feel proud of yourself. You don't need 100 likes to know you're doing something meaningful. You don't wait for approval to take action. You trust yourself. That's real intelligence. You see, Stoic philosophy teaches us that our peace should never depend on something we can't control. And let's be honest, people's opinions? Totally out of our control. You can't predict how someone will react. You can't control whether they'll like you, support you, or criticize you. But you can control how much weight you give their words. So, ask yourself, how much of your energy are you giving away trying to be liked? How many decisions have you made just to impress someone else? Now imagine this instead, living a life where your focus is on doing what's right, not what's popular. A life where you're proud of yourself, even if no one claps. That's how the Stoics lived. And that's what smart people do today. They don't post to prove. They don't speak to impress. They don't dress to be noticed. They do it for themselves. Because they know the only validation that truly matters is your own. Number 2. Intelligent people avoid arguing with fools. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a pointless argument? Maybe it was with someone who just wouldn't listen. No matter how much sense you made, they kept coming back with nonsense. It's frustrating, right? But here's the thing, intelligent people avoid these arguments. They know that engaging with someone who isn't open to reason is like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter how much water you pour in, it's never going to hold. You see, arguing with someone who refuses to listen is a waste of time. It's not about winning or losing, it's about realizing that the conversation isn't going anywhere. and smart people understand that. They know when to walk away. Take Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers. He was often surrounded by people who wanted to argue, to prove their point, or to start a fight. But Epictetus had a rule: never argue with someone who isn't seeking the truth. He said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Think about that for a moment. When you argue with someone who already believes they know everything, no matter how well you explain things, they won't change their mind. Their mind is already closed. But here's where the real wisdom lies. Intelligent people don't argue to change someone's mind. They know you can't force someone to understand something they're not ready to hear. Instead, they focus on what they can control, their own thoughts and responses. If someone is being foolish, they let it be. They don't waste their energy trying to convince someone who isn't interested in learning. They save that energy for things that matter. Now, this doesn't mean you should never stand up for what's right. Of course, there are times when you should speak up, when someone is truly in the wrong and needs to be corrected. But in most cases, arguing with fools is just a distraction. Pulls you away from what's important, your peace of mind, your growth, your values. So, next time you find yourself in an argument with someone who isn't listening, remember this: the smartest people know when to walk away. They know that the best way to win is not by fighting, but by choosing not to engage in the first place. Instead of wasting your time trying to change someone's opinion, focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, your own actions, and your own peace. Because in the end, arguing with fools is just a fool's game. Number 3. Intelligent people avoid chasing status symbols. You've probably seen it before. Someone showing off the latest designer clothes, driving the newest luxury car, or flaunting their new gadgets. They want the world to see that they've made it. But here's the truth. Intelligent people don't chase status symbols. They know that the most important things in life can't be bought. In fact, the more you focus on outward symbols of success, the more you risk losing sight of what truly matters: your values, your relationships, and your inner peace. Think about it. How many times have you bought something you didn't really need, just because it was trendy or because you wanted to impress others? It's easy to get caught up in the idea that the next thing will bring happiness. But when you keep chasing material possessions for the sake of status, you'll always be running and never truly reaching the finish line. Now, let's take a step back and look at someone like Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome. He had the means to live in the grandest palaces, wear the finest clothes, and surround himself with luxury. But instead, Seneca chose to live a life of simplicity. He understood something most people miss: true wealth doesn't come from possessions, it comes from self-control. He said, "A rich life isn't about how much you own, but how little you need." Seneca wasn't alone in this mindset. Many of the Stoics believed that happiness doesn't come from accumulating more stuff. In fact, it comes from reducing your desires and focusing on what's truly important. When you stop chasing status symbols, you free yourself. You stop measuring your worth by what others think of you or how much you have. Instead, you find contentment in what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your inner life. Here's the reality. You don't need the latest gadgets, the flashiest car, or the most expensive clothes to be happy. All those things are distractions. They're temporary fixes that don't actually bring long-term satisfaction. Intelligent people understand this. They know that material things might bring temporary pleasure, but true fulfillment comes from living a life aligned with your values. It's about the people you surround yourself with, the work you do, and the legacy you create, not the things you own. So next time you're tempted to buy something just to impress others or chase after the latest trend, ask yourself, is this really what will bring me happiness? The answer is probably no. Instead, invest in yourself. Invest in your character, your growth, and the relationships that matter most. Because when you stop chasing status symbols, you'll discover a wealth that can't be measured in dollars or possessions. A wealth that comes from within. Number 4. Intelligent people avoid wasting time on regret. We all know the feeling. Those moments when you lie awake at night, replaying a mistake over and over, wondering, what if I had just done things differently? It's a cycle that never seems to end, right? You think about what you should have said, what you could have done, how things might have turned out if only you'd made a different choice. But here's the truth. Intelligent people don't waste time on regret. Why? Because they know something most people miss. Regret is a thief. It steals your time, your energy, and your peace. It holds you hostage in the past, preventing you from moving forward. Think about it. Regret keeps you chained to a version of yourself that no longer exists. That person who made that mistake isn't you anymore. You've learned, you've grown, and you've changed. So why stay stuck? Now, I'm not saying you should ignore your mistakes or pretend they didn't happen. Of course, you learn from them. But here's the difference. Intelligent people don't let mistakes define them. They use them as lessons, stepping stones, and sources of wisdom. Take Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. The guy was no stranger to mistakes and missteps. But you know what he didn't do? He didn't waste his time regretting. Instead, he asked himself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? In his meditations, he said, the past is gone, the future is uncertain, but the present is in my control. Let that sink in. When you're stuck in regret, you're giving your power away. You're letting the past dictate your present, robbing you of the energy you need to act now. But intelligent people know the present moment is where all the magic happens. That's where your power lies. Not in yesterday, not in the what-ifs. Regret is a trap, and it'll keep you stuck in a cycle of, I should have done this, or I could have said that. But once you realize that the past is gone, that those moments are written in stone, you free yourself. You stop letting your mistakes rule you. You start living for what you can change today. Every mistake, every failure has the potential to be a lesson. And that lesson, that's what moves you forward. Don't let regret steal your future. Don't let it hold you back. Because here's the kicker. The smartest people aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who make mistakes, and then move on, wiser, stronger, and ready to take on the next challenge. So, next time you feel regret creeping in, remember this. You can't change the past, but you can change how you respond to it. And that, my friend, is the key to creating the future you want. Number 5. Intelligent people avoid the fear of change. Let's be real for a second. Change is terrifying. We've all been there, right? That moment when everything in your life seems to be moving in a new direction, and you just want to hold on to what's familiar. Feel safe, comfortable, secure. But here's the hard truth. Intelligent people don't let the fear of change stop them. They don't let that gut-wrenching anxiety about the unknown keep them stuck in a life that's less than what they deserve. Because here's what they know. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen whether you're ready or not. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner you can start embracing it. Think about it. Every time you've had to face a big change in your life, whether it was a new job, a move to a new city, or a shift in relationships, how did you feel? Probably scared, uncertain, maybe even downright terrified, right? But guess what? Every time you got through it, you were stronger. You grew. You learned. And here's the kicker, you survived. That's the power of change. It forces you to evolve, to step out of your comfort zone, and to become a better version of yourself. And intelligent people know this. They don't let the fear of change control them. Instead, they lean into it. They take it as an opportunity to grow. Let's take a page out of the Stoic playbook. Epictetus, another of the great Stoics, had this to say, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Notice the key part, how you react to it. That means your mindset about change matters more than the change itself. If you fear it, you'll stay stuck. If you welcome it, you'll open yourself up to new opportunities, new growth, and new successes. Think about it like this. Fear of change is like a weight on your shoulders. Keeps you from moving freely. But once you push through that fear, once you start making changes, you'll realize that weight was never really there to begin with. Change isn't the enemy. It's your ally. It's the force that propels you forward, that forces you to get better, smarter, and stronger. So next time change knocks at your door, don't run away from it. Invite it in. Embrace the discomfort. Lean into the uncertainty. Because here's the truth. The greatest achievements in life are often on the other side of fear. Intelligent people know this. They don't let the fear of the unknown stop them. Instead, they see it as an invitation to grow and become the best version of themselves. Remember, if you never allow change to happen, you'll stay exactly where you are. And that's a place no one wants to be. So take a deep breath, face the fear, and step into the new chapter of your life. Number 6. Intelligent people avoid the need for constant validation. We all crave validation, right? That feeling when someone tells you, "You did a great job," or "I see what you're doing, and it's impressive," feels good, feels like you matter. But here's the thing, intelligent people don't rely on constant validation from others. They don't need applause or praise to know their worth or feel confident in their abilities. Let's face it, constant validation is like a drug. First, it feels amazing, but soon you find yourself craving it more and more. You start depending on it to feel good about yourself. And that's dangerous. Why? Because if your happiness and self-worth are dependent on someone else's approval, you'll never truly feel secure. You're putting your power in the hands of others. And that's no way to live. Imagine living a life where you always need someone else to tell you that you're on the right path, that you're doing great. Every move you make is based on their approval, not your own. And the second they stop giving you that feedback, you're lost, confused, and unsure of yourself. Intelligent people know that true confidence comes from within. They know their worth not because someone else told them, but because they've built it themselves. They've put in the work, learned from their failures, and trusted themselves enough to keep going. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, said, "The opinion of others is irrelevant. The only opinion that matters is your own." Let that sink in for a second. Your opinion of yourself is the only one that truly counts. Think about it, when you rely on others for validation, you're always at the mercy of external forces. You're letting the opinions of others define who you are. But when you trust your own judgment and believe in your own capabilities, you become unstoppable. Here's the key, validation is not a bad thing. It's nice to receive praise. It's great to be recognized for your efforts. But intelligent people don't need it to feel complete. They don't wait for someone to say, "You're doing amazing." They already know they're doing their best, and that's enough. So, the next time you catch yourself waiting for validation, whether it's likes on social media, compliments from others, or approval from your boss, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, why do I need this to feel good about myself? Because here's the truth. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. The validation you're looking for is already inside you. When you stop needing others to approve of you, you start to create a life that's truly your own. You become the source of your own confidence, and that's a power no one can take away. So, stop seeking approval, trust yourself, and let the world be a witness to the amazing things you're capable of. Number 7. Intelligent people avoid procrastination. Procrastination is that sneaky little habit that creeps up on you, making you put things off until tomorrow, next week, or maybe never at all. We've all been there, right? Putting off tasks, big or small, because it feels easier to just not do it. But here's the truth. Intelligent people know that procrastination is the thief of time, and they refuse to let it steal their potential. Think about it for a second. Every time you procrastinate, you're trading today for tomorrow, and not in a good way. You're stacking up tasks, pushing them off until they become overwhelming. The anxiety starts building, the deadlines start looming, and all of a sudden, you're drowning in the things you could have handled a long time ago. But intelligent people don't fall into that trap. They understand that procrastination isn't just about delaying tasks. It's about creating unnecessary stress, decreasing productivity, and wasting precious time. Here's a fact. Time is the one thing we can never get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And if you keep putting things off, one day you'll look back and realize just how much time you wasted. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and emperor, wrote about this in his Meditations. The time is now. Do not waste it on things that do not serve your purpose. He understood that today is all you have, And that's why intelligent people don't procrastinate. They don't waste their time on distractions. They make the most of every moment. Think about this. What happens when you finally stop procrastinating and just get things done? You feel that rush of accomplishment. You realize that the task wasn't as difficult or as scary as you thought. And you suddenly have more time to focus on what really matters. Your goals, your dreams, your future. So how do intelligent people avoid procrastination? They break things down. They set small, manageable goals and tackle them one step at a time. They understand that small actions every day lead to big results. Instead of looking at a task as this big mountain to climb, they see it as a series of small hills. And they start climbing one step at a time. Here's the key. Procrastination thrives on overwhelm. The longer you put something off, the bigger it seems. But the moment you take action, it loses its power. And once you start, momentum takes over. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It only gets easier. So, the next time you catch yourself procrastinating, remember this. The sooner you start, the sooner you finish. You don't have to do everything at once. Just take that first step and keep moving forward. Because time waits for no one. And the more you delay, the more you miss out on the life you could be building. Number 8. Intelligent people avoid neglecting their health. Let's get straight to the point. Your health is everything. You can have all the money in the world, all the success, and all the fame, but without your health, none of that matters. Yet, how many of us neglect our health, putting it on the back burner for the sake of work, deadlines, or other priorities? It's a mistake that many make, and intelligent people know better. Here's the hard truth. Health is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, nothing else functions properly. Your mind, your energy, your ability to focus, all of it is directly tied to your physical health. Think about it. Have you ever tried to concentrate or work when you're tired, sick, or run down? It's nearly impossible. Your mind isn't sharp, your body isn't cooperating, and even the simplest tasks feel like a challenge. That's why intelligent people make their health a priority. They know that in order to accomplish their goals, they need to be at their best, physically and mentally. It's not about being in perfect shape. It's about taking care of what you've got, maintaining your energy, and giving your body the fuel it needs to succeed. Stoic philosophers like Seneca were big on this. He said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. But you can't maximize your time if your body is constantly failing you." Intelligent people don't just wait for health problems to crop up. They actively invest in their health through exercise, good nutrition, enough sleep, and mental well-being practices. They understand that maintaining their body and mind is essential to their success in life. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind. We get so focused on our careers, our ambitions, and our goals that we forget about the one thing that makes it all possible, our health. But here's the kicker. When you neglect your health, you're also neglecting your future. You're putting off the one thing that will allow you to enjoy the success you're working so hard to achieve. Now, I'm not saying you have to become a gym rat or obsess over every meal. What I am saying is that a little bit of effort goes a long way. Taking the time to eat well, exercise, and rest is not just good for you. It's good for your productivity, your clarity of thought, and your overall well-being. Here's the truth. You are your most valuable asset. If you want to live a long, successful, and fulfilling life, it starts with taking care of yourself. So, the next time you're tempted to skip that workout or eat something unhealthy because you're too busy, remember, your health is not something to put off until tomorrow. It's the one thing that powers everything else in your life. Take action today. Invest in your health now, and it will pay you back tenfold in the future. Number 9. Intelligent people avoid living in the past. It's easy to get stuck in the past, isn't it? We all have memories, experiences, and decisions we wish we could change. Whether it's an old mistake, a lost opportunity, or a time when things didn't go as planned, it's tempting to replay those moments over and over in our minds. But here's the thing, intelligent people understand that the past is gone, and living there does nothing for your future. Think about it, when you're constantly focused on the past, whether it's regretting something you did or wishing things had turned out differently, you're missing out on the present. You're living in a place where nothing can change, instead of focusing on what you can control right now. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, was a master at this. He said, "The past is a thing of the past. The future is a thing of the future. You must live in the present, where you can take action. The truth is, you cannot change what has already happened. No matter how much you dwell on it, it's gone. So why waste your time and energy on something you can't control? The only moment that truly matters is now." Intelligent people know that your power lies in the present moment. This moment is where you can make choices, take action, and build the life you want. If you spend too much time looking back, you'll miss the opportunities right in front of you. Sure, the past shapes who we are and it teaches us lessons, but that's where it ends. It's about learning from the past, but not living in it. Here's a great example. Think of a time when you were caught up in a mistake, a failure, or a regret. You probably found yourself ruminating on it, overthinking what you could have done differently. But did it help? Did dwelling on it make you a better person in the present? Probably not. Now, imagine if you had used that energy to focus on the present, to move forward and learn from the experience. What could you have achieved in that time? Intelligent people don't dwell on what's gone. They use the lessons from the past to inform their decisions today. They don't let regrets hold them back. Instead, they use them as fuel to keep moving forward. The key here is to accept the past for what it is, learn from it, and then let it go. You cannot change what has already been done, but you can change how you respond to it. You have the power to shape your future with the choices you make today. So, next time you find yourself replaying past mistakes, remember this. The past is not your prison. It's a chapter in your story, but it's not the whole book. You have the pen. Your future is unwritten, and it's waiting for you to take action. Let go of what you can't change, and step boldly into the present. Your future self will thank you. Number 10. Intelligent people avoid blaming others. Blaming others, we've all done it. It's easy, right? When something goes wrong, it feels so much better to point the finger at someone else. Takes the pressure off us, relieves our guilt, and, for a moment, we don't have to take responsibility for the mess we're in. But here's the truth. Intelligent people avoid blaming others because they understand the power of personal accountability. It's tempting to blame people for our problems, whether it's a colleague who dropped the ball, a friend who let us down, or a family member who made a mistake. But when you blame others, you're giving up control. You're saying, "I can't change the situation because someone else messed it up." And when you do that, you lose your power to actually fix the problem. Here's the secret. When you stop blaming others, you take back control of your life. You see, it's not about denying that other people's actions can affect us. It's about realizing that how we respond is always within our control. Take a moment to think about a time when something went wrong in your life. Maybe you lost a job or a project didn't go as planned. How did you react? Did you point the finger at someone else? Or did you look at yourself and ask, "What can I learn from this?" Intelligent people take responsibility for their own actions, even when it's difficult. They don't waste time blaming others. Instead, they look for solutions. They ask themselves what they can do to improve the situation, what they can learn, and how they can grow from it. The Stoic philosophers had a lot to say about this. Epictetus, for example, said, "We are not disturbed by events, but by the view we take of them. It's not the fault of others that we feel upset or frustrated. It's the way we choose to react." When you take responsibility, you empower yourself. You're no longer waiting for someone else to fix things for you. You stop feeling like a victim and start seeing yourself as the person who can make things right. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes other people's actions can certainly affect us. And yes, there are situations where we're wronged, where people hurt us or fail us. But blaming them endlessly doesn't help anyone. Keeps you stuck in a place of negativity and helplessness. So here's the challenge. Next time something goes wrong, don't blame others. Ask yourself, what can I do? How can I change? What's my part in this? When you take ownership of your life, you'll start seeing amazing changes. You'll feel empowered to make better decisions, to fix what's broken, and to move forward in a way that makes you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Because at the end of the day, The only person you can control is yourself. And that's the most powerful thing you can do. And there you have it, 10 things intelligent people avoid, all grounded in Stoic philosophy, to help you live a more intentional, empowered, and fulfilling life. We've learned a lot today, but now it's time to put it into action. These principles aren't just ideas to think about. They're things you can start implementing right now to make real changes in your life. Here's your challenge. Choose one of these 10 things to avoid starting today. Whether it's letting go of the past, taking responsibility for your actions, or prioritizing your health, take one step toward bettering yourself and your mindset. You have the power to shape your life, and it all starts with your decisions. If you enjoyed this video, if these Stoic lessons resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on more videos like this one. And remember, the road to wisdom and personal growth isn't easy, but it's always worth it. Keep challenging yourself, keep striving to improve, and keep living with intention. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and keep growing.